You ever wonder how much your iPhone costs to make? Production starts with a $10 battery that's made in under 30 minutes, followed by a $70 sapphire crystal camera, a $200 gold processing unit, and a $50 screen made from the worst glass in existence.
You're holding it right now. $1,200, maybe $1,400. And Apple told you it was built with surgical-grade stainless steel, ceramic shield, aerospace-grade aluminum. Here's what they didn't tell you. The material Apple puts in the headline, the steel, the titanium, the ceramic, covers less of your phone than you think, a lot less. And a federal agency looked at this and did nothing. Pick up your phone, feel the edges, that cold, solid feeling under your thumb. That's what Apple is selling. Not just the device, that feeling. And they have spent 20 years engineering exactly what your thumb is supposed to feel when it touches this thing. Here's what I found when I started pulling at this. The original iPhone, 2007, was polycarbonate, injection-molded polymer, plastic. Steve Jobs knew. The engineers knew. Apple shipped it anyway. And do you know how Apple described it? Beautifully designed. Not plastic, not polymer. Beautifully designed. That's the start of the language. And the language never stopped. By 2010, the iPhone 4 arrives. Glass back, steel frame. And suddenly the words change. Premium materials. Precision engineering. The most precise thing we've ever made. Real phrases. Real Apple marketing. None of them make a specific material claim. They don't have to. Because the words don't need to tell you what's in the phone. They just need to make you feel something about it. And feeling is harder to fact-check than a percentage. Ceramic shield. Apple introduced that name with the iPhone 12 in 2020.
I've dropped this phone. As you know, I don't have a case. On the ground, I've dented the stainless steel rails. It's fine. It doesn't break. It's not the stainless steel that breaks. It's the glass that breaks. And as far as we can tell, it's the same ceramic shield glass on the iPhone 15 Pro.
Tougher than any smartphone glass. Direct quote. Launch event. Tim Cook on stage. So what is ceramic shield? It's glass. Aluminosilicate glass with ceramic nanocrystals grown inside the matrix during manufacturing. The crystals can increase impact resistance, but it is still glass. It scratches at the same hardness level as regular Gorilla Glass, a 6 on the Mohs scale. Keys in your pocket scratch it. Sand scratches it. And it shatters. Independent lab square trade ran controlled drop tests, 1.8 meters. Back of phone impact. Ceramic shield cracked first. The Gorilla Glass Victus on a competitor phone survived the same drop. Now here's what I want you to clock. You've seen that specific shatter pattern, the radiating cracks from one impact point. That crack pattern is structural evidence of what this glass is not. A true ceramic, silicon carbide, alumina, fractures differently, completely differently. What you're watching when your iPhone screen shatters is a glass failure, not a ceramic one. Apple has never claimed ceramic shield is a true ceramic. They named it ceramic shield. Those are two different sentences, and the gap between those two sentences is worth $1,200 to them every 2 years. There's a whole other layer to this about how Corning actually sells Apple this glass and what they're specifically allowed to call it in marketing. That video is already up. Subscribe so it finds you. But right now, I need to show you what happened when a government agency actually looked at these claims. In 2021, the Federal Trade Commission ran a review of material claims in consumer electronics. Apple's language was in the sample. And I want to tell you about the specific moment this became real to me. There's a procurement attorney, I'm not naming her because she wasn't speaking publicly, who was part of a consumer advocacy brief submitted during that review. Her job was to argue that surgical-grade stainless steel was misleading. She had the metallurgical reports. She had the composition data. She submitted everything. The review came back clean. Not because the claims were accurate, because they were defensible. Here's the exact gap they operate in. Surgical-grade stainless steel refers to a specific alloy, 316L. Apple uses 316L on the outer surface of the frame. That part is factually true. What is also true What nobody in the review could legally dispute is that the frame is not solid 316L. It's a composite structure with 316L on the exterior layer. The FTC doesn't require full composition disclosure. It requires the named material be present and dominant in the named component. The named component is the frame, not the phone, the frame. So when Apple says stainless steel iPhone, they legally mean iPhone with a stainless steel frame.
If your iPhone 17 Pro is scratched, you probably don't use a case. But hey, let's be honest, it might also be because Apple went back to using aluminum frame instead of titanium like they did last year. Now, before we scream downgrade, let's look at the possible reasoning behind this. Number one is cost. Yes, as someone who rides bicycles, I can tell you that aluminum bikes are always cheaper than titanium frame bikes. And I can imagine smartphones are no different. Titanium is generally a harder material to work, contributing to those higher costs.
And those are not the same sentence. A federal reviewer looked at this, specifically, had the documents in front of them, and the language passed. If you've been thinking, surely someone checks this, someone did. This is what checking looked like. This is exactly what led me into comparing how Samsung handles material claims and whether their approach is actually more honest or just differently marketed. That breakdown is up. But right now, this is the number that actually stopped me cold. iPhone 15 Pro, the flagship, the one with the titanium frame. Let me give you the exterior surface area breakdown. The back glass panel, 52% of everything you see and touch on this phone. Not titanium, not steel. Aluminosilicate glass, the screen, 35% of the exterior, also glass. The titanium frame, the thing in the headline, the thing on the spec sheet, the thing Tim Cook said on stage. 3%, 3. The remaining 10% is the camera module housing, ceramic-coated polymer, the antenna lines, and the button components. So do the math with me. 87% of the surface you hold, see, and touch every single day is glass or polymer. 13% is metal or metal composite. 3% is the titanium they named the phone after. And here is the thing I keep coming back to. Apple never lied to you. They said, titanium frame. Frame. That word is accurate. The perception that word creates, that you're holding something fundamentally metal, fundamentally premium, fundamentally different. That perception is the product. You didn't buy a titanium phone. You bought the feeling of holding one. And that feeling cost you $1,200. And they've sold it to 1.5 billion people. Here is what I didn't expect to find. Apple cannot make this phone out of solid metal. Not won't. Cannot. Radio frequency signals, your cellular connection, your Wi-Fi, your Bluetooth, cannot pass through a solid metal enclosure at phone scale. The physics don't allow it. You actually lived through the proof of this. iPhone 4, 2010. The steel band wrapped all the way around the phone, dropped calls, everywhere. Apple called it Antennagate. Jobs stood on stage and said, "Don't hold it that way."
Apple launched the iPhone 4 knowing it had an antenna problem. Steve Jobs told users it was their fault. In 2010, Apple redesigned the iPhone from the ground up. Glass front, glass back, stainless steel frame. That steel frame doubled as the antenna. It looked perfect. It wasn't. Hold the phone in your left hand and your grip interfered with the antenna. Signal dropped, calls died. Apple's own antenna engineer warned Steve Jobs before launch. The phone shipped anyway. When users complained, Jobs responded, "Just avoid holding it that way." Then Apple gave away free rubber bumper cases to cover the antenna gap. For most users, the problem disappeared instantly. A year later, the iPhone 4S quietly fixed the antenna. Apple called it an upgrade.
But the real answer, the one the engineering team already knew, was this. A continuous metal frame kills your signal. The material people think makes a phone premium is the same material that breaks what a phone is supposed to do. So Apple made the only decision available. Keep the metal where people see it and feel it. Shrink it where it causes problems. Fill the rest with glass and polymer. Materials that don't block signal, don't add excessive weight, and cost a fraction of what metal costs at scale. Then describe the whole thing with language engineered for what people feel, not what they're holding. This isn't a hidden scandal. It's a documented engineering constraint turned into a 2-decade marketing strategy. And it works. It works because we want it to work. We want to believe the thing in our pocket is worth what we paid. If you felt something was off about this, you were right. Not paranoid, not unreasonable. Right. The phone scratches faster than the marketing implies. The screen shatters in drops that the word ceramic suggests it shouldn't. The repair costs $400 for a back glass replacement on a phone that is, by surface area, mostly glass. And now you know why. This is not about Apple being dishonest. Apple is extraordinarily good at their job. Their job is to make you feel something when you buy a product. Nobody does it better. The thing worth understanding is what premium actually means in this market. It does not mean material composition. It means emotional experience. And the emotional experience of unboxing an iPhone, the weight, the sound, the feel, is genuinely engineered. It just isn't engineered from what you thought it was. Knowing that doesn't make the phone worse, but it changes what you do next time. It changes whether you pay for the Apple Care. It changes whether you put a case on it day one. It changes what you say when someone asks you if it's worth it. There is one more piece of this story I didn't put here, not because it matters less, but because it needs its own space. It's about what happens when this phone breaks and you try to get it repaired, and you find out, in pieces, what it's actually made of. That video is already up. It's the one I'd watch next. The most expensive part of your iPhone was never the titanium. It was always the story. And unlike the glass, the story never cracks.